Hi everybody, it's Diane here. I don't think it's a secret. We're doing junk and scrappy stuff. So this is the junk book. If you've never seen it, and actually it's been a while, it's stuff that most people would probably throw in the trash. But, well, you wouldn't throw that in the trash, right? But it's so teeny. So it's stuff a lot of people would throw in the trash. I don't know what else I would do with it. It's just sort of a scrap, but I thought it was cute. That type of thing. And in some cases, we do have a little bit of a collectionist going on, but usually it's just sort of like it fits. It doesn't look hideous, so that's where it's going. Isn't that fun? Actually, it is kind of fun though. If you think about it, all this stuff, like I said, is just sort of the island of misfit images. But when you look at like pages that are pretty well completed, it's kind of cool. So there, that's her story, and she's sticking to it. No, I should have saved that. I didn't know I was going to have a new patriotic page in the collections of glue book, but I do, and I'm brushing the camera already. I don't know, it's either the light or the camera. Take your pick. And if I push the camera back, then you can see more of my computer stuff, which is very professional and attractive looking. Number 9. It's my lucky number, and it's yellow. Let's put it here. You know what? Maybe you should go in the other one here just a minute. I have sort of like a personal junk scrap thing that I don't show because it's got names and whatnot in it. And yeah, there's some 9s here. All right, let's put it here. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Well, pick it up. I trimmed my nails today. Now I can't pick anything up. It's cats on a tree and, well, on a tree and in a tree. I made a little mini hardback journal with that paper, and that was just a cut off. Yeah, I really should be finishing those, but I'm not. I'm doing this instead. My neighbor is calling to his dog. I'm sorry if you heard that. This isn't even straight. And yes, it's the same as that strip I just had, and I made a little journal out of this paper too. I mean, that's sort of silly, but I don't know. It's got a little hedgehog on it and a fox. It's cute. And what could be a better use of your time than gluing in pointless, silly scraps in a book? Can you read that? I had saved for the Scrappy book. Where does your time go? I have no idea. Now that's pretty funny. All right, you may recognize that from the glue book session we just had. It wouldn't fit. Same with that. Did I ever show you this little cartoon here? I think I put that in by myself. I thought it was kind of cute. It's from a cross-stitching magazine. Get it? Isn't that cute? If you don't get it, that means you don't cross-stitch. It's this, symbol on patterns. Okay, dragonfly. I didn't want to throw that either, or cut it straight. And are you doing this because you're still in an I don't know what to do phase? Yeah. Okay. This is the bottom of the scrapbook paper. It was plant, whatever, paper. And I cut it out because of the plants here. And then this was, I don't know if it was on, it probably was on that paper. And it was the same thing, a little scrap. What are you ever going to do with it? It's going to get lost. Should have an inchy session or an ATC session. Could use stuff like that, I suppose. That's hard to say, ATC session. I haven't made ATCs in quite a while. Okay. So you want a medal or something? No, I'm just making a observation, a comment. Little tiny scrap of paper scrap. Oops. Okay. Well, this other stuff. Oh, we're up to new papers? Okay. Well, this is on the bottom here. This might look nice on purple. Why not? Do we want it atop? I suppose. When you put it on the bank, you can really see how crooked it is, too. Are there any psychiatrists, psychologists watching? Why does that bug me to death? There must be some explanation for that. Yeah, maybe you don't want to know, Diane. I've sort of learned, well, I've learned a lot in life, but one of the things is oftentimes it's not a good idea to ask questions that you don't know the answer to. Because you probably are better off not knowing. All right, that flower, maybe we'll just save that and see if it can't go in the scrap stuff. Okay, good, good, good. I got the book out. Take a page. All right, this book is just literal scraps. Well, it starts with scrap stuff, and then sometimes I have to go find magazine images or finish it off with paint or whatever. But this is junk. Very similar to the book we just had, where it's, it's little thing, like, I mean, that's cool. I could keep it. But the corner's napped. The bright colors there, I don't know that I would ever really use it. So can't we do something and just use it up? Well, it kind of looks like there should be something under that, don't you think? And I will say, a lot of this book is strip looking things, just because that's the way they were cut off, which is fine, but it kind of, there is that similarity. Well, should we put "Where Does Your Time Go," since that was sort of funny? At least some of us thought it was funny. Where does your time go? That's a book I was tearing up. It was an old book from the, I forget, 50s or 60s, and it was how to get more done in less time, I think is what it was called. I didn't have time to read it. No. I had no intention of reading it. I suppose you could probably pick up something out of a book like that, but I don't know if it's that old. I think it would be a little, the problems we have today are just so different. It's probably the same old stuff, right? It's a little too shocking. All right, this is a copy of part of a postage stamp thing. I copied the stamp, but that was part of it, so I just thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, what are you going to do with it? Put in a junk book, I guess. Cut it crookedly. Is crookedly actually a word? I don't know. I imagine there's a lot of words out there I don't know about. I don't like that, but it does fill up that space. Okay. Well, I think that's pretty good. I would scooch it down a little bit. All right, let me glue that down. I don't know if I'm going to paint or not. I will come back and make that big decision. Okay, hang on. Okay, folks, we're glued down. I think some spattering. I brought up blue and orange, and I wasn't even realizing. I think this is the Elmer's page, isn't it? Okay, do we want some orange? Maybe a little. And I'll admit, I've never spattered complementary colors before. Should you let the blue dry? Let's find out. I wouldn't think with spattering it would matter. No, I don't think it matters. Okay. That's fine. I would probably crop this in if I was really going to frame it. If I was going to frame it. Okay, folks, so we have that. We put stuff in the junk book. I even put it away already. How's that for efficiency? Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope your day's a good one.